The spaceship is junk, they said, until the fuel tank revealed something unexpected. The station hung silently against the blackness of space. Its metal skeleton shone dimly under the dying light of a distant star, its hull scarred by years of neglect. Human eyes, sharp and determined, scanned the emptiness around it. Captain Alara Quinn leaned over the viewing screen, her brow furrowed, as she watched the derelict spaceship floating near the station. "Everyone sees that ship, right?" she said, her voice calm but edged with curiosity. "It's junk, that's what they said." Behind her, her crew shuffled nervously. Mara, the ship's engineer, scratched the back of her head. "Junk is the polite word, I'd call it a floating tomb." "Floating tomb, junk, scrap heap," Alara replied with a wry smile. "Names don't matter. We're going to find out what's inside." The others, a mix of humans with years of space experience and a few younger ones eager to prove themselves, exchanged looks. There was excitement, yes, but also doubt. Alien scavengers from nearby sectors often mocked human persistence. "Humans never learn," one of them had said before they left the station. "They touch what they cannot fix, they take what they cannot use." The ship was not impressive. Its hull was pockmarked with years of micrometeorite impacts. Panels hung loose, and faint smoke stains traced along the edges of old engine ports. Most species would have drifted past it, leaving it to slowly decay. But humans had a different view. They looked beyond appearances, curious about what could be, not just what was. Alara tapped her comm link. "Team Alpha, prepare for boarding. Remember, slow and steady. Sensors first. No surprises." The small shuttle hummed as it approached the derelict ship. Its landing gear made soft contact with the deck, and the airlock hissed open. Alara led her team inside, her boots echoing on the hollow metal floor. The ship smelled of old fuel, burned circuits, and long-closed compartments. Dust floated in the beams of their lights, dancing like tiny ghosts. "Check for power," Alara ordered. Mara moved to the control panel near the bridge, her fingers brushed over the cracked screens. "Nothing, total blackout," she said. "Looks dead, or asleep." Alara raised an eyebrow. "Asleep? You mean there's a chance it could wake up?" Mara shrugged. "Some systems still have residual energy, could be decades-old tech just waiting for a spark." The team spread out. Private Jensen inspected the cargo bay while Lieutenant Reichel checked the engine room. Every room told a story. Old supplies covered in dust, personal lockers sealed with faded insignias, and walls scratched with markings no one could immediately read. "Captain," Reichel called from the engine room, "come look at this." Alara walked quickly to the engine room. It was a vast, cavernous space filled with massive conduits, corroded pipes, and a strange hum that seemed almost alive. At the center was the ship's main fuel tank, a cylindrical structure scarred by rust but glowing faintly at its seams. "It's glowing," Alara said. She crouched to inspect it more closely. The hum was low but rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Mara knelt beside her, scanning the tank with her portable analyzer. "Energy readings are unusual," she muttered. "Not like anything I've seen, not nuclear, not chemical, something else, something active." "Active?" Alara repeated. Her heart quickened. The alien scavengers had laughed at them, sure, saying the ship was worthless. But this was different. Suddenly, the floor trembled slightly and dust cascaded from the ceiling panels. The ship seemed to respond to their presence. Private Jensen whispered, "It's alive in a way." Alara took a deep breath. "Careful, everyone. Stay focused. We don't know what we're dealing with." The crew set up temporary supports and tools to carefully open the tank. The metal was thick, resistant, but human determination was stronger. Using old engineering tricks and careful leverage, Mara slowly pried open a hatch. A soft light spilled out, illuminating the room with a strange, almost ethereal glow. Inside was something no human had expected. Not fuel, not sludge, not even scrap metal, crystals, dense, multifaceted and glowing with a pale blue energy. They seemed to pulse gently, almost breathing. Mara's eyes widened. This is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Alara crouched closer. The light reflected off her eyes, making her face glow. What is it? I don't know yet, Mara admitted. But the energy reading, it's stable, but powerful. Whoever built this knew what they were doing. The rest of the crew gathered, eyes wide. A moment of silence passed as they realized what they were seeing. The derelict ship, the junk, was anything but worthless. Inside it, hidden for decades, lay a source of power the galaxy had never seen. From outside, a faint sound of engines echoed. Alien scavengers had noticed the activity. They hovered near the airlock, monitoring. Humans, one of them hissed through their translator. You touch what you cannot understand. You will regret this. Alara ignored them. She turned back to her team. We don't know what this is yet, but we know it's important, and it belongs to us to figure it out. Jensen tapped the crystal lightly. It pulsed stronger in response, sending faint ripples through the room. It's like it's aware. Mara frowned. It's reacting to us. Maybe it's responding to human presence. I've read about energy cores like this in old records. Rare, extremely rare, semi-sentient maybe, able to stabilize entire systems. Alara nodded slowly. Then we're going to need to be careful. One wrong move and we could lose it, or worse. They spent hours examining the crystals, taking readings, and ensuring the ship remained stable. Every new discovery added to their amazement. The ship's old navigational logs hinted at journeys humans had never officially recorded, places long forgotten, systems lost to time. The markings on the walls were maps, stars, coordinates, human coordinates, left behind by explorers before humanity had vanished from galactic records. This ship was human, Alara whispered, almost to herself. Long before us, someone like us sailed these stars. Reichel tilted his head. Then maybe it wasn't junk, maybe it was waiting for us. As night passed outside, the human crew worked tirelessly. They cleaned, repaired, and stabilized what they could. Their determination shone brighter than any alien mocking voice. Every challenge reminded them why humans were considered adaptable, inventive, and surprisingly resilient. By the time they paused to rest, the ship seemed calmer. The crystals pulsed gently, as if acknowledging the humans' presence. Even the alien scavengers began to hesitate, unsure of what they had stumbled upon. Alara stood in the center of the bridge, staring at the glow of the crystals. She felt a deep pride, a sense of connection not just to the ship, but to the long-lost humans who had built it. We've only just begun, she said softly. Tomorrow we see what this ship can do. That night, as the crew slept in shifts, the derelict vessel seemed to breathe. The hum of its systems intertwined with the pulse of the crystals, filling the empty corridors with a quiet, almost living rhythm. Outside, stars glittered cold and distant, unaware of the human ingenuity unfolding within. And deep inside the fuel tank, the crystal pulsed brighter, waiting for the humans to unlock its full potential. The glow from the fuel tank had not faded. Instead, it seemed to thrum with life, as if the ship itself recognized the humans aboard. Captain Alara Quinn stood before it once more, Mara at her side, both staring at the energy crystals with awe. "Are you sure it's safe to touch?" Private Jensen asked, stepping back. "It's strange." Mara shook her head, her hands hovering above the glowing crystals. "I've seen energy cores before, never one that reacts like this. It's something else. It could power the ship for centuries, or it could destroy everything if mishandled." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Then we handle it carefully, step by step. That's what humans do." The crew spread out, cautiously examining the fuel tank. Every touch, every reading seemed to make the crystals pulse brighter. It was as if the energy recognized them, acknowledging humans, not aliens. From outside, a shadow passed over the viewport. The alien scavengers had returned, curious and nervous. Their ships, sleek and deadly, hovered like vultures. One of them, a tall, spindly alien named Kreth, spoke through a translator. "Humans, step away. That ship is worthless to you. Leave and you may survive." Alara ignored the threat. "We don't leave what we find," she said. "We see it through. That's human nature." Inside, Mara had begun working with the crystals. Using a combination of old tools and new techniques, she carefully extracted small samples, stabilizing them in energy containment fields. Sparks of blue light danced across the room, reflecting in everyone's eyes. "Captain," Reichel said from the engine room, "these crystals, they can interface with the ship systems. I think they can control engines, navigation, even defenses." Alara's heart raced. "You mean this ship isn't dead? It can move?" "Yes," Reichel replied. "We just need to understand the interface. The crystals respond to human commands. I don't think any alien could do this." The humans worked tirelessly. Hours passed, then days. Every step forward was cautious. The ship seemed almost alive, responding to their efforts. Lights flickered on in corridors long dark. Engines hummed softly. Old navigation screens glowed faintly, revealing star maps and coordinates for systems unknown to current records. Meanwhile, outside, the aliens grew restless. Kreth's fleet hovered like a storm, waiting for the humans to make a mistake. "Why do they persist?" Kreth hissed. "It's junk. There is nothing inside." But the humans did not falter. In fact, the more alien ships waited, the more determined the humans became. This was their nature: perseverance against doubt, ingenuity in the face of impossible odds. Inside the ship, Mara had made a breakthrough. "Captain, I think I understand the crystals. They're semi-sentient. They respond to thought patterns, to intent. We don't just feed them commands, we have to communicate with them." Alara frowned. "Communicate? How do we do that?" "Focus," Mara said. "Concentrate on what you want. Imagine it clearly. The crystal will follow." It sounded strange, impossible even. But humans had always been daring. Alara stepped forward, placed her hand gently on the crystal, and focused. The crystal pulsed brighter, responding to her thoughts. A stream of light traveled along the conduits to the engines. The hum grew louder, more confident, as if the ship were waking from a long sleep. Reichel's eyes widened. "It's alive. The engines, they're coming online." The team worked together, each human contributing in their own way. Jensen monitored energy stability. Mara adjusted containment fields. Reichel aligned the navigation systems. Every action was precise, every decision careful. Outside, the aliens sensed change. Sensors flickered and alarms rang. "The ship, it's powering up," Kreth yelled, panic rising in his voice. "Impossible. No species could revive that vessel. But humans could. They always found a way." By the next day, the ship's engines hummed steadily. The derelict vessel, once dismissed as junk, was now fully operational. Alara walked the bridge, her hand resting on the crystal's glow. "Prepare for test flight," she ordered. The shuttle crew braced themselves as the ship lifted slightly from its moorings. The engines roared to life, but the sound was controlled, precise. It was no longer a corpse drifting in space. It was alive, responsive, and ready. "Steady," Alara whispered, guiding the ship forward. It glided gracefully, surprising even the humans. The alien scavengers backed away, their pride wounded and their confusion growing. Then came the first real test. Kreth's fleet moved in, attempting to blockade the human ship. Lasers cut through space, and small projectiles threatened the hull. But the humans were ready. Using their understanding of the crystals, they manipulated the ship's energy, creating shields and maneuvering in ways no alien could predict. The ship twisted and darted, dodging attacks with astonishing precision. It was like watching a predator dance, sleek and intelligent. "This is amazing," Jensen whispered. "The ship, it's listening to us." "Yes," Mara said, eyes shining. "Humans aren't just operating the ship. We're part of it. And it's responding to our creativity, our adaptability. That's why it works." Alara grinned. "Then let's see how creative we can be." Over the next hours, the humans outmaneuvered the aliens at every turn. They used quick thinking, clever tricks, and teamwork to turn the seemingly weak, derelict vessel into a powerful force. A trap here, a sudden maneuver there, and the aliens found themselves struggling to anticipate human tactics. The aliens, frustrated and panicked, tried brute force. But humans had something they did not: ingenuity and adaptability. Where alien ships relied on rigid patterns and predictable technology, humans improvised. They turned the ship's damaged parts into advantages, using energy bursts from the crystals to boost engines, create diversions, and outsmart their attackers. At one point, a missile barreled toward the ship. Jensen yelled, "Impact in 10 seconds." Alara thought quickly. She imagined the ship moving out of harm's way, and the crystals responded. The engines surged, twisting the ship in a sudden, impossible maneuver. The missile passed harmlessly, exploding in the distance. The alien fleet faltered. Kreth barked orders, but his crew was confused and fearful. No species in this part of the galaxy had seen such unpredictable tactics. No one could explain how a junk ship had become a battlefield nightmare. Hours passed, and the humans' confidence grew. The crystals pulsed steadily, guiding them, reacting to their ingenuity, amplifying their efforts. The derelict ship, long forgotten, had become a symbol of human perseverance. Alara watched the stars, thinking of the humans who had built this vessel centuries ago. They had left behind a gift, waiting for the right hands to unlock it. And here they were, the next generation of humans, continuing the legacy. Finally, the alien fleet withdrew, defeated not by superior firepower, but by human determination, creativity, and adaptability. Kreth snarled, unwilling to believe what had happened. "Impossible," he muttered. "How could a species so weak be so clever?" Alara smiled faintly. "That's humanity," she said. "We find ways always." The ship, now calm and stable, drifted silently in space. Its glowing crystals pulsed softly, as if resting after a long day of activity. Inside, the humans celebrated quietly, proud but aware that their journey had just begun. The derelict vessel, once mocked as junk, had revealed a secret far beyond imagination, a secret that could change the galaxy's view of humanity forever. Alara stood on the bridge, staring at the glowing fuel tank. She knew this was only the beginning. The ship held more secrets, more adventures, more challenges, more opportunities to prove that humans were not to be underestimated. "Tomorrow," she said to her crew, "we explore further. We push boundaries. We find out what this ship was meant to do and what we can do with it." And deep inside the fuel tank, the crystals pulsed once more, sending a wave of light through the ship. It was a promise that humans, underestimated and overlooked, could achieve what no one else could imagine. The stars outside twinkled silently, unaware of the rising legend of humanity. But the humans inside the derelict vessel knew one thing clearly. They had turned junk into power, weakness into strength, and doubt into victory. The stars stretched endlessly around the derelict ship, now alive with power, precision, and intelligence. Captain Alara Quinn stood on the bridge, her hands lightly touching the console. The glowing crystals in the fuel tank pulsed like a heartbeat, guiding every movement, every decision. "This ship isn't just ours," Mara said softly, her eyes reflecting the blue glow. "It's part of us, it knows us, it's responding to human thought, human strategy, human creativity." Alara nodded. "Then let's see how far we can go." Outside, the alien fleet had not forgotten. Kreth and his ships lingered at the edge of the sector, wary but not defeated. They had been humiliated, forced to retreat by a ship they called junk. But pride was strong in alien minds, and Kreth would not accept defeat lightly. "Sensors detect multiple enemy fleets approaching," Reichel said, voice tense. "They're regrouping. This time they're bringing heavy firepower." Alara smiled faintly. "Good, let them come. They'll see why humans are never easy to underestimate." The crew prepared. Every system was checked, every crystal stabilized. The ship's engines hummed steadily, responding to human thought like a living being. It moved gracefully, seemingly aware of its surroundings, anticipating maneuvers before commands were even spoken. When the first wave of alien ships arrived, they opened fire immediately. Lasers tore through space, missiles streaked across the void, and the derelict vessel's hull shimmered as energy shields flared into life. "Hold steady," Alara commanded. "Focus, think ahead, anticipate." Unlike the alien ships, which relied on rigid formations and predictable tactics, humans adapted instantly. Each crew member made decisions in real time, improvising and coordinating without a single delay. The crystals responded to their thoughts, amplifying movement, energy, and precision. A missile closed in on the ship. Private Jensen reacted instantly, imagining the ship twisting to evade. The crystals pulsed brighter, engines surged, and the ship darted sideways, narrowly avoiding destruction. The missile exploded in the distance, harmless. "Keep moving," Alara shouted. "Don't let them predict us." The alien fleet tried to coordinate. Kreth barked orders, expecting brute force to succeed. But humans were unpredictable. They used parts of the damaged hull to create energy diversions. They sent false signals, confusing enemy targeting systems. The ship seemed to anticipate every attack, moving with a fluid grace no alien vessel could match. "This isn't a ship," one alien officer hissed. "It's a weapon, a living weapon." Inside, the crew worked seamlessly. Mara manipulated energy flows from the crystals to strengthen shields. Reichel adjusted the engines for incredible acceleration. Jensen monitored enemy positions, predicting attacks before they happened. And Alara. She coordinated them all, calm and confident, a conductor of a symphony of human ingenuity. The aliens launched a massive barrage. Lasers, plasma bolts, and energy missiles struck the ship in rapid succession. The hull shook, sparks flying across corridors. But the humans were ready. They used the crystal's power to redirect energy, creating shields that not only absorbed attacks but reflected them, striking enemy vessels in precise patterns. Kreth's fleet faltered. For every move they made, humans had already adapted. The junk ship danced across space, turning weakness into strength, turning surprise into victory. At one point, a massive alien capital ship aimed directly at the human vessel, preparing to fire a devastating cannon. Alara clenched her fists, then relaxed. "Think differently," she said aloud. She imagined the ship not as a target but as a predator striking. The crystals pulsed, engines roared, and the vessel split its energy between propulsion and attack. Energy beams shot out from the ship, striking the alien capital ship in a coordinated pattern. Systems overloaded, shields failed, and the massive vessel drifted helplessly, stunned by human ingenuity. The alien fleet hesitated. Their morale wavered. They had never faced a species that could improvise so quickly, that could adapt to every move, that could turn a derelict vessel into a living weapon. Alara took a deep breath. "Focus on strategy, not force," she instructed. "We don't need to destroy them all. We need to show them humans are clever, not predictable." The crew executed a series of maneuvers that stunned even themselves. Using energy pulses from the crystals, they created illusions of multiple ships, confusing the aliens. They darted in and out of danger zones, striking only when the opportunity was perfect. The aliens tried to regroup, but human strategy was relentless. Each wave they attempted was countered with precision and creativity. Even the fastest ships could not predict human movement. Even the most advanced weapons failed to anticipate the unpredictable. Kreth's pride turned to fear. "Impossible," he whispered, eyes wide. "How can one species?" Alara smiled. "Humans adapt, we innovate, we survive. That's why we're still here, still thriving, still exploring." As the alien fleet withdrew, defeated in spirit if not completely destroyed, The humans allowed themselves a moment of quiet. The derelict vessel floated, calm and powerful, its glowing crystals pulsing steadily. They had turned what everyone called junk into an unstoppable force. They had shown the galaxy that humans could adapt, improvise, and triumph where others failed. Alara looked around at her crew, pride swelling in her chest. "We've done well," she said. "But this is just the beginning. There's more to discover, more to explore, more to achieve." Mara nodded. "The crystals, they're only part of it. There's knowledge here, technology, and secrets the galaxy has forgotten, and it's ours to uncover." Reichel added, "And humans will make it work. We always do." Jensen smiled faintly, glancing at the pulsing glow. "It's amazing. We took a ship everyone called junk and made it alive, powerful, human." Alara's gaze turned to the stars ahead. "Then let's see where it can take us. Let's show the galaxy what humans can do when no one expects it. When we're underestimated, we shine brightest." The ship began to move forward, its engines humming with newfound life. Energy flowed through every system, guided by human thought, human creativity, human ingenuity. It was more than a vessel, it was a symbol, a beacon of human spirit, determination, and adaptability. In the distance, uncharted systems awaited. Unknown worlds, forgotten civilizations, and untold dangers stretched across the void, but the humans were ready. With the derelict vessel at their command, powered by the mysterious crystals and guided by their unmatched ingenuity, they would face the galaxy fearlessly. And deep within the fuel tank, the crystals pulsed, almost like a heartbeat of their own. They had chosen humans, recognized them, and now responded fully to their creativity and courage. Alara placed her hand on the console, feeling the vibrations from the crystals. "We're not just surviving," she said softly. "We're thriving. We're humans. And the galaxy will learn to respect us." Outside, the stars seemed to shine brighter. The alien fleets would remember this day. The galaxy would remember this day. Humans, underestimated and overlooked, had turned junk into power, weakness into advantage, and scorn into respect. The derelict vessel sailed forward, a glowing symbol of human ingenuity and perseverance. And inside, the crew knew one undeniable truth. No matter what challenges lay ahead, humans would adapt, humans would survive, and humans would always find a way to turn the impossible into reality. Captain Alara Quinn smiled as she watched the endless stars. "Let's see what comes next," she said. "Together we can face anything." The ship pulsed, alive with energy, with human determination, with the promise of adventure. And as it disappeared into the uncharted depths of space, one thing was clear: humanity had found its edge. And the galaxy would never underestimate them again.